everybody, and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will, I'm a D&D sex icon, and we're back again today with another episode of Call of Cthulhu Nameless Horrors. We've got a cast and crew back with us all, save for Lindy, who has been dragged into the Eldritch Warp, and I have devoured her soul. Whole piece. It was delicious, and she may very well be back in a few weeks when I spit her out, regurgitate her once again into the world, but I make no promises. So let's go around the cast and crew, and let's figure out who we are and who we're playing. Redundant UK, how you doing, my friend? I have you all muted. Nailed it. There we go. Nope.
Gonna gush at the kitty while you sort that out.
That's all fixed now. Like, so what's happened is... Long story short.
Sorry.
Welcome, Latu. Fucking everything is fucked on OBS, right? Ever since this Windows 10 update happened about 3 seconds ago. So,
of course.
If everything is fucked, then I blame Windows.
But... Well, yeah, because when you update Windows, it kind of defaults everything to default, and everything's fucked.
I wish that wasn't the world we lived in, Tom. But let's go to a different world. Let's go to 1927. Talk to me about Sloane.
Yeah. Let's go to a quote unquote better world.
Yeah.
Yeah, Call of Cthulhu. So, I mean, are you good? Can we continue talking?
You go ahead, man.
Oh, I can continue talking now. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm all right.
Safe. Good talk. All right, we got Donovan with us today. Don, how you doing?
Oh, I'm great. I'm doing awesome. Better now that we're back playing Nameless Horrors. I'm playing Garen O'Kayan. He is a Catholic priest with some sort of inherent power that has yet to be fully established, and we're gonna do this today.
Amazing. We also have Greg with us today. How you doing, Greg?
I am doing well, my friend. I'm glad that you have conquered Windows, that you are going bare knuckle fighting with OBS.
Oh, yeah.
I'm here. I've got a front row seat for the challenge and the fight. I'm with you. I'm in your corner. I'll be your cut man if needed. But today on the program, 1 to 4, or whenever we are right now, 1:45 to 4, where it's at, Nameless Horrors. I'm playing jolly. Let's get to work.
Amazing. And last but not least, we have Pruitt with us today. Pruitt, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, Tom. That was amazing, by the way. That's just, you can't teach that kind of comedy. I'm doing great. Just got back from Boston. That was great. Had a lot of lobster. It was very overpriced. Well fed and ready to go.
Incredible. So let's remind ourselves of what happened last time. But before that, shout out to our sponsors, dndice.co.uk, make all these shows happen. They don't like Windows 10. They hate them. And that's why we buy their products for 5% discount using the coupon code Encounter Roleplay. This is the sole reason why. If my goddamn anything would have worked today. God damn it!
Rip Microsoft sponsor.
Well, I would never take that. So we've you can also interact with today's show. Follow. That's not how you spell follow. That is educational stream. Here's a tweet for you guys as well. 20 retweets, 20 followers. Decide what happens next in our game. Donate to affect the show. Give players nat 1s, nat 20s, wild magic surges. Screw with Lem. You can even screw with Lou. She's not here. I plan on doing that, so feel free. Or try and protect her if you feel like that's possible. Let's remind ourselves of what happened last time. Whilst I go into the bowels of OBS and perform surgery inside there. Don, would you mind running us through, because you keep these beautiful notes there on your... I think we even have a command for that. Talk us through a little bit about what happened last time on the show.
So it's getting pretty complicated here. In short, there are a number of powerful entities or cults in the Lovecraft Country region that are after an artifact called the Golden Fernier. And everybody wants to get their hands on this thing. Supposedly it brings people back to life or some semblance of life. And now we're on the hunt for it too. And we left Arkham, the town we were investigating in, to go to Dunwich. And we visited a farm, the farm of Henry Arkin. And Henry Arkin had murdered his sister and his mother in the basement. He shot him dead. We confronted him and we found that he was infected with this fungus that's sort of spread all over the countryside. So some of us are infected, maybe all of us are infected with the fungus as well. And he was being compelled to look for the Golden Fernier. he was being compelled to go to the old mill outside of the town of Dunwich. So he ran off in the middle of the night to the old mill, we presume, and we drove in the morning when it was a little safer. We had to go through a number of terrifying encounters. There's a ghostly boy that Jolly ran over. There is some crazy rotten fungus, like vegetation that might have been living. We're not really sure what it was, but we had to hack our way through that. We wrecked our car that we just got, and we finally made it to the mill after crossing a river full of fish babies. These are like large eels with the faces of human babies that make really terrifying sounds. The mill itself was warded. There's some kind of magical protection on it that we thought might blow us up if we tried to go through, so we decided not to. And we hiked it over to the town of Dunwich to the manor of Squire Whately, who's one of these powerful entities looking for the Golden Ferrier. We found it was a crumbling ruin. We saw a statue of Sloane there, our very own teammate, but he was dressed in some sort of like old-timey, noble, maybe Middle Ages garb. And we know there's some sort of time travel thing happening too. And we all sort of had a moment where we looked at Sloane and said, what is going on? Who are you? And then we opened the front door to the manor, and we found 4 bodies there just inside, but Will didn't tell us who the bodies were.
Yeah, that sounds like something I would do. So it's late at night, you're outside, you've been trudging through these fields, past these river babies, and to this kind of, mill, and then you went to the manor. You've just walked in through the doors, and you've seen that there are 4 bodies down there, and behind you at the moment is the statue of Sloane, who's looking absolutely majestic, carved in stone. So, yeah, that's where we'll start today's game. Lou is looking a little absent today, as often she is, and we'll likely find a moment to dart off and try and nick some things. So that's how we'll excuse Lindy's absence for now. But as for the rest of you, you stand there, the rain is behind you, you're basically on the porch of this manor, big, old, dilapidated, gothic-looking manor in front of you. You've just thrown open the doors in a very dramatic style, and with the statue of Sloane behind you, and in front of you, you see 4 bodies on the ground. They are unmoving and look to be dead.
Okay, so the state of these bodies, okay? Are there any visible wounds? Like, is this like a sacrificial? Like is there blood everywhere? Is there markings on the floor? Or
Yes,
can we...
it does appear like there is a fair amount of gore around, and it's fairly fresh as well. It looks to be still glistening, and as you kind of, the light from some of the white lightning behind you will illuminate this room. There's no light on in here at the moment. You can see that very clearly these bodies have been attacked. You're not sure by what, you'd have to get close and look, but it looks like a pretty savage assault.
Can y'all cover me? I'm sorry, and this is who Pierce is. He wants to go check out to see if anybody is alive.
Well, Doc, wait a minute. I'm assuming he's already in.
Somebody could be alive. Come on, Jolly. Just try to keep my voice down a little bit. And I'm looking around, trying, hopefully don't get jumped as I move towards these bodies.
As he steps towards the bodies, Sloane takes a step back.
Jolly will follow him in, bat out. It frosts up with the tendrils of frost coming off of it as Jolly kind of takes position and guards Pierce's back.
Garen will follow both of them to the plane of the door. He won't cross through the door just yet, and he does draw his Templar's sword and has it down and at the ready.
Yes, as you go to one of these bodies, you turn them over, turn this person's body over, and you look at your own face.
Well, I guess I won't be making reservations for dinner tomorrow.
You can roll me a sanity check.
Okay. That doesn't bode well either. Yeah, failed.
Alrighty. So, Pierce, you're currently leaning on to have seen this. You lose 4 sanity as you stare at your own corpse, looking up lifelessly at you.
I will just try to continue to make jokes, but we'll just falter, and y'all might not want to look.
What's going on?
What wounds are on this body?
After a moment of, just shock and horror at staring and at your own eyes looking back at you, you realize that the body itself has been pretty well eviscerated and carved up on the front and back. But it looks like most of the wounds are on the back, as though you were running away from something.
Well, Jolly, you didn't do a good job of watching my back, obviously, as seen here.
What are you talking about? And then at this point, Jolly, he turns and looks down at what Pierce is indicating.
Yeah, you can run me a sanity check, Kip.
I could have tried to fudge that, but I did not. There we go. Jesus Christ, Doc, that's you.
Let it never be said that you didn't overstate the obvious, sir. So, and I'm just gonna go and confirm what Pierce already knows, which is he's gonna go look at the other 3.
Absolutely. And at this point, Kip, could you run me 2 wild magic surges from Latu? Sorry for not seeing those earlier, Latu. And Mr. Pokey is giving 2 crits to Pierce, 1 to Kip, and 1 for Sloane to get you back on even with those nat ones. Appreciate it.
I love you.
I love you.
That was Pokey, right?
That was Mr. Pokey.
Okay.
The man, the myth, the legend. Let me just put those on the screen for you. Sloane, what are you doing at this point as well?
Just standing back and observing.
That's a low one.
Garen's sort of flickering his gaze between Sloane suspiciously, and but as they start to talk more about the bodies, he does become curious, and he tries to look in to see if he can also see what these bodies are, who they are.
And anyone that looks can roll me a sanity check.
Can be a success for me.
Beautiful.
Will, I have a 56.
Really,
And
that low?
Yeah, and an 8,570.
All right, let's look those up right here. 56 is one of the lowest ones we've seen in a very long time. Jesus.
Do you know what the lowest one ever you've had?
I don't. I want to say in the 30s. After each spell, Kip appears to be on fire. I like that. It's pretty hellish. It's pretty hellish.
I like it too, man.
Yeah. 8570. Is anyone wearing armor here? Any kind of protective? No, not really. Well, okay. We don't necessarily need it to be armor. So all within 50 yards and in armor, but we'll get rid of that, are paralyzed for 2d6 rounds. And what we'll say this is basically a paralysis of just seeing your own bodies. Even though you pass your sanity check, some of you, like, you look at this, and it's going to take you, right, 2 rounds and 12 seconds. It takes like 12, 15 seconds or so looking at this and just realizing that this is you guys. And there's, without a question of a doubt, and as Dr. Allen, you turn over the other bodies, you see the body of Garen, Kip, and Lou. Sloane is not there.
So, yeah, after I kind of shake off the shock of that and see all of them, I'll just slowly turn around and look at Sloane. And kind of, is the statue kind of in that same direction?
It is.
I'll look at the Sloane and then look at the statue, look back at the bodies, look back at Sloane and be like, you have anything you would like to say about this? You've been here before, yes?
No.
Is Dead Kip still wielding his bat?
He is not, no. And indeed, none of you appear to be armed.
What are we wearing? Are we wearing the same clothes?
You are. You are wearing the same clothing, basically identical. There may be a few extra rips and tears on their clothing where they've been attacked from behind. And the same goes for your bodies as Alan's, in that most of the wounds appear to be on the back side as though you're fleeing from something, rather than standing and fighting. And it looks like, based on this, I mean, either you guys were killed in here and put in here, or you were all killed at almost the same time. You ran inside.
Garen will turn back to Sloane and he's going to say, rather pointedly, Sloane, you're going to have to do a little better than that, I'm afraid, given these circumstances. Surely, with your talents, you can tell us a little bit more about what is going on here.
I will answer any question that you ask. Could you be more specific?
Well, Sloane, there's the four of us dead. There's you on a statue with the name Squire on its plate.
There could be multiple reasons for this. I could go through them, if you wish.
If you,
Garen, we could conduct a test. I could bash Sloane's brains in, and we can see if the statue goes away. Lay him down here with the rest of us.
Garen seems to consider that for a moment before he says,
No.
No. I don't think it needs to come to that yet. But Sloane, can you, I don't know, you did that thing before with a bullet.
Yes.
Is there something you can do now to tell us a little bit more about what's going on?
I could.
A resplendent offering.
But it could not work. Or alternatively, I could just see your grisly ends.
Well, you could maybe then see what did this to us.
Perhaps.
So we know what not to run away from.
True. But consider this. If it is me that killed each and every one of you, and that is what I see, what's stopping me from not telling you that? You would have to trust what I say, would you not?
I'll trust that I can see through any lies you might tell us.
Very well. I could attempt it if you wish. However, perhaps we could consider the reasons why all this is here. Perhaps I do go back in time. Perhaps I do become the Squire. And perhaps that statue is built by me in my honor. And I do, just myself, somehow kill all of you.
Thank you, Latu.
For reasons unknown. Or alternatively, the Squire knew that we were coming here. He knew that we were working together, and he knew that we are his biggest threat to getting the gold. So perhaps this is all an elaborate deception to get us to question one another. There are multiple things of why this could be. But if you wish me to investigate further, I am happy to do so, yet I cannot promise you will like the answer.
Well, I think we need to hear the answer first before we can determine whether or not we'll like it. So, with that, Pierce will kind of step up and present this grisly scene for you.
As Sloane gets forward, he's going to pull Pierce. Jolly's going to pull Pierce back a bit, and when he's just out of earshot, as Sloane's preparing to do whatever it is he's going to do, he's going to lean in and almost breathe into Pierce's ear. Did the bodies? Did they look sick? Do they still look sick?
Did the body still look sick?
You don't see any signs of contagion or any of the spores on them. There's no greenness on around their mouths or anything like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Perhaps he's right. This could be a ruse.
Or we figure out a way to cure it. And when we do that, buckle up.
That is true. That's a good point.
Sloane will approach them and have a look, and just as he's about to do something, he stops and turns around, and he pauses for a moment, and he asks, "I would like your word that I will not come to harm, at least until I have had my say. Doing this leaves me very preoccupied and vulnerable. I would very much not like to have my head caved in."
Well, you can rest assured that I still hold to the oath that I took long ago.
Yes, good doctor, but I'm more concerned with the other two.
Well, like I said, I will hold to the oath that I took, and they will have to go through me to do harm to you.
Garen will look to Jolly thoughtfully. He'll say, "You have my word. I'm not going to hurt you. We need answers. We need information. If you're honest, you don't have anything to fear from me."
I've been honest from the beginning.
Don't worry about it, Sloane. If you and I ever come to fisticuffs or fistabats or whatever it is you do with your mouth, we'll be toe to toe. I don't come at anybody from the back. They see me coming. It's part of my mystique.
Sloane will just nod, and he'll basically go around to each body. And these are all pretty messed up, right?
Pretty messed up. Similar scene to ones that you've seen previously.
Okay, so he's gonna take a lump of kind of like, and this is still fresh, right?
You'd think so. Yeah, the doctor would put this within a few hours.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So whatever did this is possibly still in the area.
Okay, so Sloane is gonna go to each of the bodies and pick up, say, a chunk of flesh or gore or whatever from each of the separate bodies. And he's going to put it in a pile, and basically he's going to just rub his hands over it and just mouth some ineligible things that could potentially be gibberish. And then he just picks up the gore and just goes like that and chews it for a while, and then spits it out, and then hope something happens.
And Will, whenever he's doing that, I'm gonna internally just ask the wizard, Waitley, have you seen one like this one with Sloane? What he can do?
The wizard says, No, here's something else.
Okay, let's have a look. I have passed. I rolled a 52.
Nice. At this point as well, we'll bring in Latu's Wild Magic Surge for Sloane, Garen, and the Doctor.
Okay.
As Sloane performs some magic.
Some magic.
Alright, so Alan on 4496. If you are slain by fire, you explode as a 20 hit dice fireball. Dope.
And I cast fire when I attack.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Dope.
That should work out great.
Yeah, the wombo combo. Interesting. The next weapon drawn nearby instantly quadruples in size is Garen's Wild Magic Surge. You pull out your sword and just whoop, like Pinocchio or something.
It's Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
Oh man.
fucking Siegfried from Soul Calibur or something.
And then 8592 for Sloane. Oh, this is good. All within 50 yards are 30% likely to vanish for 1d6 rounds.
Okay.
That's good. That is good.
I think that gives you a few options there, Will.
I think it certainly does. Here's this buffet of terrible things you could do to the party. I'll have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, please. Don't mind if I do. Nice. It's an all-you-can-eat buffet of delicious, terrible, Lovecraftian things. So, Sloane puts the gore in his mouth. Roger out Arctic, nat 20 for Kip, and advantage to Sloane. Thank you, my friend. He just puts the gore in his mouth and just starts chewing on it in this absolutely disgusting fashion. And Sloane, you once again feel that recognizable pang of distancing yourself from your own body, and a taste of that irony blood in your mouth, because this is still fresh, and you are eating either a piece of yourself or one of your friends right now. It is in your mouth, and you taste that irony, bloody taste in your mouth. And your vision changes from that of you being here in this room to another of you being outside. You're outside, you're in your own body, which is one of the first times you ever felt being inside your own body in one of these experiences. And becomes even stranger for you, because you're in a scenario, well, you're almost looking at yourselves right now. It's almost the exact same scene. Outside, it's raining. There are the same gargoyles on the walls, the same mansions. However, you feel this unearthly presence within your own mind, which is speaking to you. And it speaks, Father and Mother of all cosmic uncleanliness, eternally carries on in repugnant fission. The Lord, the source of uncleanliness, go forth. And you step forwards, and you see before you that there are 4 figures who are running away from you in sheer panic. From above you, you see one strange worm-like, milky tentacle reaching out 20 feet in front of you, and another 5 of them reach out from behind your back as well, where they lay at home. As you look onto your back, you see that there are these 5 milky tentacles that have wormed their way onto you, all of which are green and contain that same viscous fluid that you saw from the plants back before, and there's a tinge of that same green fungus upon them as well. As you step towards the 4 companions who are fleeing from you, many of them already appear to be wounded, and the voice driving you forwards and forwards, until eventually they break out into the mansion, and you reach towards them with the tentacles and eviscerate them in an unholy, visceral, brutal fashion until that they are dead. And then you feel whole again when that happens.
At the time, there's a voice in my head telling me, basically urging me on, yeah?
It is the only voice in your head. You no longer have your own voice.
Okay.
It is your voice, and yet it is not.
Can I see what else is different? Is there anything else outside different? Like scenery, buildings?
Roll me a spot hidden.
What is my spot hidden like? Ooh, it's 40. Think low. 35, yay! Okay, I pass.
It's pretty good. Almost everything is the same. There doesn't appear to be any real differences. You don't spot anything out in the scenery that looks any different from previously. You're looking out into the courtyard. Gargoyles are all the same. The statue is still the same. The only thing about the statue is that it seems to be a lot fresher. It doesn't have that same kind of decay and wear and tear that you would expect of the statue which is outside.
Okay. So the buildings still look like they do in modern day. They're not older.
The building, as you draw into it, good question, is a lot fresher as well. Whereas now, You realize everything is decayed where the building is right now. It looks like it's like 100 years older than everything else in the area. This looks like it's new. It looks like the time that you came here with to meet Squire Whately for the first time, perhaps. And then you step through into the house and walk upstairs. And that's where your vision ends.
I didn't go to a room. I just walked upstairs, and then that was it. Top of the stairs, done.
Correct.
Okay. As the vision ends, Sloane will just kind of come through, and he'll look around, and he'll start shaking. He'll look at everyone, go, and he'll go into his pocket again, shaking, and he'll take a vial, and as usual, the shaking slowly stops, and he rains down, and he takes a deep breath and spits and gets up very slowly.
Can you speak? Are you there?
Yes, I can. He steps back, making sure he's out of hitting range. He goes, I saw something.
Well, I would certainly hope so. What would you say that you saw?
Please note that when I tell you this, I tell you this in hope that things can change. But I saw myself potentially possessed. Something out of my control sometime in the past. Chasing you for already wounded. A sense of power beyond imagining coursing within. An army of tentacles pushing forward and eviscerating your lifeless corpses. And then once done, a feeling of completion. Then I went back inside and walked upstairs, and I came through again. Now I must say that it was not me, that I felt that I was possessed. So I hope that gives at least some sort of... Well, you're not going to instantly kill me.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to.
It's
I
very
can't
reassuring.
speak for these two weapon-wielding gentlemen. When you say you were possessed, how did you know you were possessed?
It was a
Did you talk?
feeling, a voice, which said, and Will, could you repeat it? 'Cause I don't know.
It was very difficult to remember now you.
Okay,
now
so
try
I
to think
don't
about it.
really remember, but it was like a...
You definitely
Basi-
remember the term father and mother of all
Oh.
cosmic uncleanliness.
cosmic uncleanness. So I basically repeat that. That doesn't ring a bell for me for my occult, does it?
You could roll me an occult.
Yeah, I may as well. It might ring a bell in all the books that extreme success.
Very nice.
Almost.
That term in itself, it could be a great deal of many occult practices and occult gods and goddesses. However, the source of uncleanliness as a term is definitely one which has been referenced in terms to a being known as Abhoth.
Now, Sloane, did you
Sorry.
recognize the voice?
What was the Abhoth?
Like Hob, like not like
Hob.
like Hoth as in
Oh.
those planet from Star Wars.
Abhoth. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I'll put it in the Roll20 so Jack can see.
Cheers. Sorry, I just wanted to make that.
Alright.
Sorry, please go ahead.
I was just wondering, Sloane, if you did you recognize the voice?
Do you think you could recognize it again, should you hear it?
Was it in kind of like my own voice, as in like you're thinking?
Yes, it
so
was
it's not
almost as though
audible?
you were thinking it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no particular accent or dialect that you'd recall aside from your own, really.
Okay. No. It was as if a thought, as if one of my own. However, there is something that does ring a bell in what they said. The source of uncleanliness. It is something associated with Abhoth. I don't know much. What would I know about it, Will? Do I not know a lot? It's just that, is it?
I mean, without having a book on the matter, yeah, you wouldn't have
cool,
studied Abhoth. Other than, you'd probably know that it would be recognized as being an outer god, meaning it's from a different dimension than your own.
Okay. And I explain that to them. That it could be associated with that.
An outer god. Are you talking about like a demon?
Think of it more as well, I suppose in a sense it is a demon, depending on how you look at it. But it does not.
Yeah, Sloane would probably consider, like, great old ones to be more demonic and outer gods to be way more cosmic.
Yeah, kind of deity, kind of.
Yeah, but just like almost completely incomprehensible level
Yeah.
of what the hell is that thing?
Yeah. So it's more of a deity, but not as we know it. It doesn't exist in the same time or existence that we do. It is something of uncontrollable power, and the very thought is difficult to comprehend.
In your vision, Sloane, did you have a sense of how you came to be taken by this Abhoth?
No, just that I was there inside my own body, which has never happened before, and that the events that I told you unfolded. Now, I must say that my visions, or whatever you wish to call them, they are not fact. They could be a potential future, potential past, potential present, but they are not definite.
You've seen them change before?
They're like, in some sense, yes. It just gives me a feel. It's not like seeing a photograph. It is fluid. And as we all know, we all have free will. That does not change.
Now, after one of these visions, has the body that you used to take it disappeared because of actions you've taken?
What do you mean?
You're saying that it doesn't have to come to pass, but I'm looking at some striking evidence that
Yes,
this will come to pass.
perhaps. Again, perhaps it is possible that the squire knew that I would do such a thing and planted something there so that I could see that. Possibly.
Jolly chokes up on his bat and walks directly at Sloane. And as with each step, as he gets closer, the steam starts to come off the bat. And right when he gets to Sloane, he just brushes past him and heads up the stairs. And he says, "So, you were looking for something. You said you killed us, Sloane, and then you went upstairs."
Yes. And he nods and basically as in good idea, and walks after Jolly.
Garen's going to go back to the door that they came through and glance through it and kind of look around. He wants to make sure that he doesn't see anybody or anything out there that may be following them or watching them.
Absolutely. In fact, your wild magic surge here from Kiana works perfectly, Fliss, because when you look outside, you see that all of the air within about a mile radius is totally like opaque. So it's almost like a heavy mist has just fallen upon everything outside for about a mile. As far as you can see, this thick mist.
So I can't see through anything. It's just suddenly there.
It is very difficult to see.
Feels his heart racing a little bit for a moment, and he quickly steps back in and pushes the door shut and lodges it shut. And he'll follow the others.
Everyone heading straight upstairs?
Yeah, I will be keeping Sloane in front of me as we move upstairs.
Okay. So you head up onto the kind of balcony area of this large mansion, and there are several doors that are in front of you in this long corridor. On either side, you've got two on the left, one on the right. The door on the right-hand side is labeled Sloane's room, Squire Sloane's room.
I assume that would be a good start. And he approaches the door, but he stops for a moment and he examines the store thoroughly, because in his mind, if this is his room, there's a possibility I might have put something there to make sure no one comes in. So I want to examine it thoroughly for any sigils, symbols, anything like that.
Absolutely. There don't appear to be any sigils on the door itself.
On the frame? On the floor or ceiling?
Doesn't appear to be.
I turn the handle and open the door.
It opens with a click as the lock is pulled out, and you push it forwards into a large study area, which looks out onto the courtyard itself, so you can actually see down to where the statue is, and you can see where the heavy mists are outside right now. Everything's wooden around here, and you've got just stacks upon stacks, stacks on stacks, on deck, in fact, and just rows of bookcases and manuscripts and scriptures and parchment, which have just been thrown everywhere. It's in absolutely no discernible order at the moment.
A magnanimous dispensation.
Damn it, Latu, with a £50 donation. I feel sorry for causing so many issues for Garen. Here's free potions and free magic items delivered to Garen as Will sees fit. Additionally, 5 advantages for Garen. Holy shit, Latu. Holy mackerel. Feeling bad for Garen that Garen's gonna get some shit. Dope. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that so much. We'll get to that here, I think. So, yeah, so you've got stacks of these crazy scriptures and books just hidden around. More concerning at first, however, is the sheer amount of animal and possibly human body parts which are around this room. They are on tables, they're on trays, like surgical trays. Some of them are placed up on like wardrobes, like the top of wardrobes where you might like throw a coat or something. I'm looking at my own wardrobe right now. And like inside one of these wardrobes, you've got like pieces. Some of them are animals. Some are like there's a pig's head around. There's rat tails which have been chopped, and just in a maddening way. This isn't a wow. This guy is super organized in a way which he is dissecting corpses and looking into them. Like this is butchery, and there appears to be no rhyme or reason to it, and there is a heavy dark black book which looks to be layered with a skin on top of it as the binding, which is on your desk and currently closed. As you look at it, you can see that there's almost like there's a window pane, like it's a circular little window pane on the front of it which swirls and moves.
As I see all this, I'm gonna signal everyone to just stop and basically just do not enter. And Is there like a blanket or a coat or anything around that I could grab?
Sure, there's a coat.
Okay, I grab a coat and I very, very carefully and gingerly put the coat over the book so that it's just not visible at all. Okay. I'm going to look around to see if there's anything out of the ordinary that could potentially be a threat to anyone else but me.
Can normally spot hidden if you want.
Yeah.
You can eat in that one on that one though.
Shit. Oh, I'm just too impressed with the statue.
Yeah. You're looking down. Wow, I look good in that.
I'll look around. I don't see. Should be safe to enter. But be careful. And, I'll just wait for them to enter.
Garen will enter. He'll say, a lot of books in here, Sloane.
Yes,
Quite a collection you got.
I wish.
And what's all the pieces? We went back in time to become a taxidermist?
See, this is what confuses me. Do you honestly believe someone like me would do such barbarism? Do you not believe if it was me, that I would be more delicate, more precise? This is ravenous. Just sheer butchery.
Well, so is what was downstairs, Sloane, and we know that whatever happens, or whatever you've seen, this possession that you speak of, listen, I believe you. I believe what you're saying, and just because it's your body and your name doesn't mean that it's you up here. So I don't hold you responsible for this, but we do need to find out what is going on here, because there's the mill to deal with, there's the Whateleys and who are tied up in this, and now there's this thing, this entity, Abhoth, that you mentioned. And I don't intend to die. I don't intend to end up like we have down there.
Trust me, my dear Garen. If you have seen what I have seen, you definitely do not wish to die. However, there are things that we must be cautious about. And Sloane is he's kind of excited in a Sloane-esque way. He's almost like he's in his element, this whole, investigation of supernatural stuff. He's almost thinking, he goes, there was a book that I saw. It is underneath this coat.
I was going to ask.
Yes.
About that.
Do not remove the coat. Such books, such things like this could potentially have strange power within them, so much that the very reality that you perceive could melt before your eyes. So we must observe it carefully, if at all. There could be other things in this room that could help us. Maybe a diary, notes that I, or this future or past me had made. If you could look for anything like that, but don't read it. Don't read it.
Read it.
Tell me.
What are you reading?
Oh, I'm just asking them to look around for any notes.
Who opened the book? Yep.
No, not
someone's
that book.
reading
It's
the
still
book, I
under the coat. It's under the coat. We're gonna sit quiet to the coat and tell it to.
Sworn I heard that.
Did specifically say not to.
You guys want to take a look around at just stuff in the room that might be interesting?
Yeah, like notes, anything that.
Absolutely, there.
Garen's very interested to find anything that mentions Abhoth, anything that
Yeah.
seems to be a reference to him.
Nice.
Jolly is just leaning in the doorway. His services amongst the books would not be of much help anyway. But he will mention this. Hey, Sloane, you're saying that, you wouldn't do something like this. You're not a butcher. You're, so meticulous, especially in the way that you dress and take care of yourself. But, Father Lawrence once told me, said there's only one way to keep a man from shooting you. That's to kill him first, or to take his gun. So when it comes down to it, Sloane, I don't care if it's you or you're the tool. I ain't gonna end up like downstairs.
I hope not. And I will do everything I can to avoid it. And that is why we must learn investigate. However, if you feel that bashing my brains in will guarantee your safety, I cannot stop you.
No, I ain't scared to die, Sloane, but I got an affection here for Garen and the Doc and Lou. I don't like seeing them laid out like that. Like I told you whenever they were sick. You know, if it gets too bad, bashing their brains in, it would hurt me. But bashing yours in, I don't feel that type of heartbreak. So,
And why is that, Jolly? Why is that?
I don't know, because you're fucking weird, Sloane.
'Cause
But I'm a little weird too. We're all weird. We're all working for Caligula.
Yet,
But
yet
I don't have a
me-
statue made of me.
No, you don't. So that is the difference, is it, between a bat to the brains and not a statue? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, you're making a good case for me, but
I'm just merely stating facts.
you're starting to convince me, Sloane. We might want to end the conversation because I was hedging on the side of not bashing your brains in with my bat, and you're making some good points here and reinforcing things that are already going through the head of Jolly.
Yes. Again, I deal in facts, Jolly.
Like
And if
4
it's
dead
facts-
bodies and a fucking statue.
Yes, indeed.
All right, Sloane. I'm gonna give you your chance to get on base. We'll see. You start struggling, I'll help you out.
I'm sure I'll be grateful for that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Sloane will carry on looking around.
While Dr. Pierce is looking around at the books and everything, he's also going to be looking at all the pieces of animals and see like how they were torn apart, whether it was with teeth, with knives, it just the particulars of what did this.
Absolutely. While you're doing that, Jolly can roll 2 wild magic surges, and Sloane can roll 1 from Isriva. Thank you, my friend. Perfect moment as well as you guys are facing off with one another. And Alan, roll me medicine here. A diagnosis. Alright, so let's do Sloane's 942. Nice and low today. Oh, this is brilliant. This is insanely good. Caster finds strong evidence that the apocalypse is nigh. It couldn't possibly be better as you walk into the room which you're gonna find
Yeah,
all
I
this
think
shit.
we might already be at that point.
I love it. Jolly, all soil within 50 yards is seeded with an aggressive vegetable. That is perfect as well, because all of the plants outside are really fucking bad. Yeah, they're very aggressive. That's insane. Ooh, Jolly, 6-3-7-4. You lose half of your remaining hit points. So if you're on 10, you go down to 5. Something in this area is draining you.
Okay, you don't want to make like something drops on me or something. You just all of a sudden feel like my life force.
I think when you walk into this room and when you see the book is when you just feel like absolutely drained, like something is evil in this room and it's giving you that strong heebie-jeebie, and more so than that, it's just like sucking shit out of you.
Okay. I won't do this right away, but are D10s of healing going to help out from prior donations since I just got nuked?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's go back to the doctor here. So, Dr. Allen, you succeeded on your medicine check there. This looks like it's been done with all sorts. There is definitely signs that there's like a blunt instrument used, like some kind of cudgel or bat maybe. Some of the parts have been shot, some of them have been torn apart with a knife, some of them look like a bigger blade, maybe some kind of sword. And some of them look like just like teeth marks, like someone's just gone in there and, it's like tearing meat off the bone, or like a fucking chicken drumstick or something, like it looks like an assortment of weaponry has been used.
Mm-hmm. And,
Does
you
this
know,
look like the same thing? The same creature?
Alan, you can roll me an idea roll. Second Jolly.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here wondering. You know, you see. Wait, what's an idea roll again?
Intelligence.
I got a hard success. I ain't as dumb as you think.
I got an extreme.
Success.
Yes. I got so many good ideas. I got an even better idea.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you both come to a never wanted a KFC more right now. Yeah. It's funny. This should be a commercial for us. You both come to a similar conclusion at about the same point. This is not the same creature. This is not Dr. Aurelius Smith with the talons and claws going all around. Someone came in here and just smashed up things with an assortment of different weapons, and not really with claws. There's no marks of like those long, jagged blade knives, almost like someone attached 5 knives to their hand and clawed someone. There's none of that. As you're looking around as well, one of you will come across a what looks to be a journal, hard-bound journal, which is somewhat caked in dried blood and gunk.
Garen was looking through the books and whatnot. If he sees the journal, is there a name? Is there any kind of indicator on the cover, or maybe in the first page of?
Yeah,
who
on
it belongs to?
the first page in a very delicate hand, the name reads Sloane.
Well, Sloane, does this look like your handwriting? And he holds the book up to Sloane to show him the handwriting.
I'm assuming it is.
Certainly looks like your hand.
Yes.
Do you mind if I take a read? Is that an invasion of privacy? This is a strange circumstance we find ourselves in.
I am more concerned for your well-being.
Well, I think we're beyond the point of not taking risks.
Allow me to at least ensure that there is nothing that will damage you. Allow me that.
Of course. And he hands over the journal.
I'll take the book and I'll study it like really carefully again, looking for any symbols or anything like potentially like magical protection or something like that on it that I, put on it. Anything like that.
There are no visible signs or sigils on the book. Garen has already looked inside the first page and hasn't seemed to have been harmed.
Oh. Okay. I offer it back to him then. Seems fine then.
But Sloane, that is your hand.
It is, yes.
Well, let's see here. Give me a couple of minutes. I just I want to see what's the timeline here. What's the chronology? And he starts flipping through, trying to figure out first off when this might have been written, how old the pages are, and what the gist of the content is.
Everything seems to be old in this place. It seems to be, that kind of decayed sort of state. The gore in here as well looks old-ish, and the downstairs area looks like very kind of recent. So, but the book itself looks old. You want to open it up and take a read?
Yeah. He's gonna read through quickly.
All right. You can roll me a library use here to scan and see what you
Perfect.
can get from it.
All right. Success.
Very nice. The book, while at first reads as a journal of everything that, like Sloane's like dream diary almost, and the odd incidents that he's experienced in the past, it quickly descends from that very well written and tight scrawl of a hand into descending into something which is clearly someone that's insane, and it becomes gibberish almost. Sloane writes and talks constantly about dreams that he's having, which involve something deep below the ground. He speaks of Judgment Day, is a very, very common theme, and a pollution which seems to be growing ever further. Sloane feels unable to really do anything about it. And a lot of times he feels helpless, and his studies need to push him further towards finding an answer. He speaks a lot about the book. He refers to it as the book, just very simply. He doesn't name the book at all. But it's clear which book he is referring to. He does not claim to understand the trans-dimensional nature of his studies. For what he is studying is unknowable for a human mind, he believes at the very least. But he feels he's on the precipice of something great, and that the book holds all of his answers.
As Garen's reading this, he's idly put a hand into his jacket pocket, inside pocket, where he has that small statue that also read Judgment Day. It was a statue of a woman with a sword piercing through her. And he doesn't even realize that he's touching it. And he says, Judgment Day. This is more of the same, Sloane. This looks like you slowly went crazy obsessing over that book there, that one that you've got covered up. Is there anything in this journal that talks about when he is, if he's aware of like what time he's in, or does he mention us at all?
He doesn't make any reference towards you. It doesn't seem like you're in any kind of communication with Sloane. Or if you are, he doesn't make any note of it. He doesn't speak about years or what day it is. It seems like he's probably lost track of all of that because it's just not important to him.
Whenever Sloane wrote this here, he wasn't already his full self. He was already starting to become whatever it is that he says he becomes. Here, you're welcome to take a look. There's not a lot of information here. I think the real information, the real truth of what's going on is covered up right there. And he points at the blanket or coat or whatever it is that's hiding the book beneath.
Yeah. Garen, let me have a look at that journal right quick. And then just bring it up and internally be like, you recognize any of these phrases? And kind of go to the more scattered, crazy writing to see if maybe he recognizes.
Absolutely. There is, when you look closely and spend a bit of time on this, probably the best part of 30 minutes to an hour, you will read phrases such as father and mother of all cosmic uncleanliness, the source of uncleanliness, eternally carries on in its repugnant fission. He speaks a lot like this. It's almost like it's it reads similarly to Garen, almost like a verse from a Bible or something, like a prayer verse.
Okay. But the wizard doesn't recognize the.
Sorry, I thought you were talking to Sloane about that. My mistake. Yeah, the being known as Wizard Whately inside your mind speaks and says, "It is possible that lies beneath the Miskatonic Valley. It is possible it brought the Golden Ferronier to us. A being of such power would bring with it great artifacts from a land beyond our own. It's possible that we are not within our own world now. Walking into this mansion, we have transcended time, entered into a different dimension."
What?
The being almost sounds scared. The first
Right.
time you felt Wizard Whately not be just battering on about wanting to find a Golden Ferronier.
Right. So, you're saying this thing could have taken Sloane over from here?
I know
And
not
we've already-
the extent of a being's power, such as above, but
Well,
it is entirely possible. It's entirely possible that all of the strangeness in the Miskatonic Valley is related to that creature, but it cannot be awakened. It must not be awake, for if it were, there would be so much worse than this.
Right. Well, it both worries me and gives me joy that you sound scared now. So, welcome to the club.
It doesn't say anything, but you definitely feel that sense of worry from within your mind. Yes, but we must fight the Golden Fernier. It will maybe able to get us out of here.
Yeah, that Golden Fernier, I got it. I got that written
Yes.
down. I got an X next to it and a star. Just kind of come out of Pierce's mumbling, because I'd like to think that he thinks he's talking internally, but he actually mumbles to himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the old wizard thinks we might already be elsewhere, wherever elsewhere will be. So that's fun.
May I read my journal?
Oh yeah, sure.
Take it. And Sloane will go sit down somewhere in the corner and he'll flick through it. And basically he wants to find out whether or not he was trying to either free whatever this thing is or prevent it from escaping, or potentially at first trying to prevent it from escaping, but then slowly turn into freeing it over time.
Yeah, roll me a library use here, Sloane.
You know what? I'm going to nat 20 it. I want to know.
So, from what you gather, and you sit down and really start reading this thing, and like you probably have a better understanding of this, just due to the fact that it's your writing, and your own mind. So you kind of recognize a few like traits of your own writing in here, and a few allusions to things that maybe Garen wouldn't have picked up just on a first flick through, seeing as you're making references to things that only you would make a reference to. So, you read through it. This appears to be a Sloane who did not. He either did not meet with the others or came separately to Arkham. He did not land in a crash with them just outside of Arkham. And it seems as though that is one of the main events that you can place on your natural 20. That is the difference between yourself and Sloane. And yourself and Sloane 2. Sloane, ulterior timeline.
Sloane 2.0.
Yeah, the Sloaning.
Shadow Sloane.
Yes, indeed. At first, it seems as though you were certainly looking to stop whatever this was, that there was a pollution in Arkham, and that you looked to solve that primarily on your own, and you ended up down at the mansion. And it seems as though, as far as you know, your own... as far as you can tell, you were looking to stop whatever this is, and you quickly descend into madness when you start talking about this book.
Okay. I'm basically, it's almost like when he realizes that, it's almost like a weight's lifted off Sloane. He feels a bit more upbeat and a bit more, not cheerful's not the right word, but not so doomy. He gets up and basically he places it on the table and goes, "This Sloane here, it isn't me. Look." And basically he's going to show the other, whoever's interested in reading, that this is a different Sloane, potentially from a different dimension, and highlight the fact that he was trying to prevent this from happening and then descended into kind of madness from his efforts in doing that.
Garen is actually almost uncovered the jacket. Like he's thought at this point that the way to go is to read this book and find out what exactly is going on. And then when Sloane says that, he stops.
Sloane will look up, and for the first time in anyone's scene, he will look genuinely frightened. It's just frozen.
With Sloane, you're saying this isn't a matter of you in the past doing this to us, but some other you.
Yes. Could you move away from the coat, please?
Yeah. Yeah.
Garen, I was gonna say, how far did you lift up the coat? Like enough for like a corner to pop out, or
Should we roll a?
Just-
should we make
just
a
enough
luck
for a
roll?
corner.
Should we make a luck roll on that just to
Luck?
see how
I'm happy to.
quickly?
no? I've got something that happened on the book. So.
Nat 20 that shit right now.
Yeah, not
Oh
20,
yeah.
not
I'll
20.
nat 20 the luck roll.
Okay.
So he was just about to pull it up and he dropped it at the last moment because of Sloane interjecting.
Can we say corner? Just the corner popped out. Jolly.
Absolutely.
As long as Jolly's the one who saw it.
Yeah, and I just drop back, and you hear a huge clump, as it sounds like boulders in a sack, just smashes down into the hallway as the bat clatters along the ground, and Jolly's in a fetal position, rocking back and forth as wisps of cold are coming off of him.
Nice.
Doc.
Then Pierce will immediately run over to and start checking on him. Because if he goes down, we're screwed.
Yeah, Jolly definitely looks like he's in pain. That much you can tell. Like
Okay,
something's happened.
Would you like a first aid or medicine?
Absolutely. Sorry, I was reading something else. First aid.
I'm going to use 1 point of luck.
Nice.
Precious little points of luck I have left. And make that a pass.
Very nice. You can heal Jolly for 1. It's like he's had a heart attack. Or like a stroke or something like that. It's like his body shut down for a minute and just like, almost went into cardiac arrest.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna pull out the butter knife that Lou gave me, since I have to have a knife, and put it in his teeth so he doesn't bite his tongue off, and start trying to stabilize him.
You can absolutely do that with your successful first aid check. Jolly will come round in about a minute or so.
We didn't see Jolly stare at the book. We saw him stare, but we didn't see that he saw a corner, did we? He just looked and then collapsed, yeah?
He definitely
That's what
looked over towards the book, as far as you can tell.
Right. So
When he comes around, he stares up at the dock, and maybe to go with the whole like mini stroke thing, part of his face seems to slack a bit on the left side as he looks up at the dock and he says,
Don't look at the book.
Oh, so that's what you went and did?
I didn't mean to.
I'll just kind of like look over and find his bat and just kind of bring it over to his hand. Maybe that'll make him feel a little better.
Yeah.
But
Coolness is.
didn't the bat go
refreshing.
rolling down the hall?
it just clattered beside him.
Oh, that's all right then.
Garen looks stricken with guilt when he hears Jolly say, "Don't look at the book," realizing that he caused this reaction accidentally, and he steps kind of cautiously towards Jolly and Alan, and he says, "I'm sorry. I didn't know. Is this what happened?"
Just give me my bat. Just give me the bat.
I mean, I don't know right now. He seems to be stable, but yeah. With everything that's happened, so I put the bat in his hand. I mean,
As soon as the bat touches his hand, all the symbols flare blue, and Jolly sits up, right, and he puts the bat down and pushes himself up to a standing position.
Okay. Just take it slow. There's no. Where's the fire?
And as if on cue, you see blue flame lick across his shoulders as the symbols flare back down.
Okay, that was
That was a D10 of healing.
Steps back. He's like, it's just figure of speech, but
The coolest D10 of healing ever.
for some reason, Dr. Pierce is like extra. He's never been afraid of fire, but he kind of steps away an extra second faster than he should.
Jolly, you all right? You feeling okay now?
Don't look at the book.
I won't. My apologies for doing this to you, but
No.
I think at some point, when maybe we're not in such a predicament and we have a moment to ourselves where we can sit down in safety and talk, it might behoove us to all come clean about who we are and what we're capable of. If we're gonna work together, I get the feeling that there's more to, well, you certainly, than what I've seen so far.
I'm just a driver, Padre.
Someone will take. Sorry.
Well, you're a very good driver.
You're a very good Padre.
Someone will take a deep breath and look at Johnny and go, "What is the cost of that artifact?"
Well, you want to buy it?
No, I mean, what is the cost of you using the artifact?
You mean, what am I paying the piper?
Yes.
Do I look rich?
No, but it takes something. Artifacts like this don't just happen without a price. What is it?
My friend paid the price. I'll pay it someday. Right now, I got a job. And that's why I'm here.
How did your friend die? If you wish to answer.
I killed him, Sloane. With the bat.
And you believe someone will kill you with the bat, so it will transfer to them?
Oh, I don't believe it. I know it.
You see, and he spins the bat around several times around his shoulder, and it comes to rest in both of his hands.
It ain't always been a bat. It's been around a long, long time. But, it picked the right side a long time ago. So we give it what it wants.
And that is?
Violence.
And what happens if you don't give it violence?
Well, Sloane, it's sort of like whenever you don't take your little drink after you put something in your mouth.
Well, let us hope that there are plenty of things that you can hit.
He stares directly at Sloane.
Don't worry about that.
He'll turn to the others. So, we know what his artifact requires and how we got hold of it. Is there anything you wish to ask of me?
Have you always been able to do what you do?
I can't remember a time before I couldn't. I can't remember my childhood or a time before Caligula. The only thing I remember is a name. Matthew Summers. I know it's important. I don't know why.
Like, as in your name that you forgot, or
It could be my brother, a helper, a father. I do not know.
well, I would assume experiencing what you experience. Well, I don't understand or comprehend it. Seems like it would want to make room inside your mind. There's not a lot of room for anything else, really.
It is rather cramped in there.
What about you, priest? You toting around Excalibur or what?
Oh, the sword, it's nothing that special. But I'll be honest with you. I work for the church, a small subsection of the church. My work with Caligula, so far, the few handful of missions that I've been on, just an intersection of interests. You could say that my work with the church is to root out cult activity, dangerous cult activity. I'm not a priest. I was. But that time of my life has passed now. And I've moved on. I'm a fighter. Something like Jolly there. Never seen anything like that bat before, but there's a whole lot about what we're going through right now that I've never seen.
Yeah.
And no matter what we were, where we come from, right now, we've got 4 or 5 days before some of us, all of us are dead or crazy or worse. This entire region, maybe more, is going to hell.
Yeah.
I think we all gotta trust each other as much as we can, as much as we might not want to. Because if you're anything like me, everything about this terrifies you.
Yeah.
Doc, you work with Caligula long? You know anything about them?
I mean, speaking of going through hell. Yeah, I first actually started working with them just after the Great War. My former commanding officer. He was there with me. It was the Battle of Ardennes, the second one. The one that the Americans were there for. I was putting a kid's guts back in, and it was in the middle of the rain and the mud, and there's blood and shit everywhere. There's bombs going off, and then his intestines started to attack me. Started pulling me inside of his body. Started to choke me, and I just stood and stared. I've never. I mean, what do you do when something like that occurs? And he was there. He cut me free, and just immediately burned the body. It was. They wrote it off as some kind of an accident. But afterwards, I gave me a stiff drink and a talking to, and pretty much Caligula is the only place I can work. I can't just go to a hospital. I can't even perform surgery most of the time nowadays. I just my hands shake. So this is what I do now. I've been doing it for a few years. So
You trust him, Doc? You trust this Caligula?
I have honestly no reason to not. They don't always tell me all the details. It's always just need to go look at this body, check it out. I know something's going to be fucked up with it, but like I said, once you've been attacked by a dying patient's internal organs, pretty much everything else takes a back seat. And trust me, I've taken a lot of back seats. So, anyway.
Well, if we came here, friends, we came here to find a way to get past that spell, to get into that mill.
Yeah.
And Sloane, if you're saying that this isn't you, that down there, that's not us, that it's another version of us that's not real, not us, then I don't think anything has changed. We're here, and we need to find a way to break that spell and get into that mill and find the Golden Therinye and figure out what is going on in this valley and save ourselves and save the people of Dunwich and Arkham.
I must say that I did not say that wasn't you down there.
That's what I heard. That's what I
I said that it wasn't me. There's a different Sloane. I did not say that that wasn't you down there. I hope.
It could be different. I mean, they weren't infected, so.
It could very well be different.
It
If there is another Sloane, then it's safe to say that perhaps there are other versions. Well, there was other versions of you. But that still leaves to remain that this version of Sloane could still be alive, could still be walking around, and could be close. It's something to consider.
Could you cast that spell, Sloane? Up at the mill.
Will, do you think I
don't-
could cast?
You don't know
I
the
can't.
spell. The
I
spell,
don't.
I mean, it doesn't take much of an idea roll to know that it's probably in that book.
Yeah, shit. Okay. I don't know the spell, but I know where to find it.
Oh. Just kind of glance over at the table.
And he'll just nod. Ideally, I would very much not like to look in that book.
Well, ideally,
So,
I would like to be on a beach with a little fruity glass of something with a little umbrella in it. Maybe like a nice woman serving me that, ideally. But I'm also going to step outside this room before you open that book. And then Pierce is going to just walk out of the room.
Jolly is already out there yelling back in for anybody that asks him anything, and he just pats the wall beside him whenever Pierce walks out.
Sloane will turn to Garen and goes, "If I look at that book, that is a death sentence. Essentially, I could just, my mind could just be destroyed."
Garen will reach his hand out for Sloane's shoulder. There's genuine compassion in his eyes. He says, "There's two things we could do. You could look in that book for answers, and I could promise you that I'll do my best to hold you down, to cast out whatever's inside you. I'm not without power, Sloane. And that's why, if you want to change, diverge from what's been set out before us, option number 2, I look in the book, and you hold me down. It's your choice, but I think that there are answers that we need."
If you just give me some time to think of an alternative, perhaps something I've written down here, something that'll, I don't know, perhaps get through that. Just give me some time.
Wizard, talk to me here. Certainly there's something you can do to protect his mind.
Protect his mind? Why? I suppose I could if I were inside of it.
Is there something you can do to protect my mind, then?
I already am. Although it shortens your lifespan considerably, as it would his.
Well, never planned for retirement anyway. So I'll pull out my flask and take a swig. Be like, walk in and just be like, guys, there's a third option. I have this thing in here, and he says he can protect my mind somewhat. So I'll read the book.
It's a possibility that he's doing that to completely take over you. I mean, if you read that book, what it remains of you, Doc, it could destroy it.
That is true. That is very true. But honestly, what remains of me is mostly haunting regret. So, I mean, I've only been doing this long, in hopes that I could make some kind of difference in this, whatever this is, this cosmic struggle. And mostly I just patch guys back together and send them on back out to lose their minds in some other way, whether it be through spell or bullet. So the chance to actually make a difference, I think it's worth it. Don't you say you would take a chance every time that you do what you do, Sloane? Or you, Garen? I'm sure you've conducted an exorcism or two. Your life was on the line, was it not?
Doctor, this is beyond anything that we do. My whatever it is that I do,
Yeah.
that is nothing compared to what will be in that book.
Oh, I understand that. Again, I don't comprehend it, but I understand it. But if that's the means to get in, to see what's underneath that mill, I think the old wizard here, he'll at least try to get me that far. Perhaps we can actually do something about what's corrupting this valley, these people.
Can we not at least just search the house, look further? Can we not at least do that? Maybe even find this version of Sloane. He might be able to tell us what we need before we go willingly sacrificing our very selves.
It's
Make
a
a
big
good-
house. It's
Big
worth at
house.
least looking around. But if
But I would like to point out, you see our bodies down there on the ground? Even if it's not us, some version that's close enough to us, do you see us finding that version of you and things coming out any differently?
No. But then again, we know this time what he can do. And we will be somewhat more ready than hopefully they were. I mean, don't forget they were unarmed. Oh, it would seem. We
Yes.
are not. Again, I
Karen.
just don't want to willingly sacrifice.
Well, I don't think they did either. And turn and look at Garen. Like, Garen, your power, is it in that sword?
my power, sir, is in God, the one true God.
Mm-hmm.
And he, I promise you, he is real.
At the mention of God, you hear two taps as the bat comes outside by the door and taps down, and you hear Jolly say,
Amen, Padre.
Okay. I'm not doubting your faith, and I'm not doubting a God. It's not why we're here, but kind of gesture back downstairs. Even with that, that version of you is still dead and torn apart on the floor. So again, I say, do we really want to find whatever version of Sloane did that?
I want answers, Alan.
I
I
do
think
too.
there might be answers in this house. I think there are answers in that book.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
But I think Sloane's right. I think there's at least value in checking the house, seeing if we can get our answers without looking in the book first. And if we can't, well, I'll be there for whomever takes the plunge.
All right. Then let's be about it then.
Garen will walk out of the room.
Yeah, I'll follow. But I'll make sure the door's shut after me.
Okay, so back into
Is
the corridor.
there is there like a lock?
Yeah. Sorry, I broke up for a second. Yeah, there is a lock.
Oh shoot, I really could have used Lou. I want to basically secure the door so no one can come in and take the book, essentially.
I could give it a shot.
Please, if you would, Jolly. Please.
No, I ain't no Lou. I'm better than most, but there's Lou. And Lou's Lou, and I'm like half a Lou.
We will have to just hope no one enters. Unless, of course, we can rig it so it makes a noise when someone enters, but...
You could prop something up against it so when it comes in, it will be knocked over.
Yeah, we'll do that. Why not? At least
Haven't you
it'll
ever
give
been
us
to school before? Back in the boys' school, we take a waste paper basket or some type of container, a pitcher. We fill it up with piss, water. You know? We prop it up against the door on the inside, and when they pull it open, whoosh, piss all over their shoes. Water all over their shoes. Excuse me, Padre.
It has to be loud enough for us to hear all over the house.
You ever heard somebody be quiet when they get piss on their shoes? I mean, they don't go, shh, there's piss on my shoes. They scream, it's fucking piss. And you hear it from like a block or two.
You make a valid point.
It's funny. It's piss.
It's better than nothing.
Piss it is.
All right.
Quite the purveyor of potty humor, I see.
I work in it like others work in clay. Or...
An artisan of his art. Amazing. So that happens. Where do you guys want to go? There are two other doors opposite from here. Or there's the rest. If you were to go downstairs, you go back into the corridor. There are several other wings of the house from there.
Should we stay together then, just in case that thing's here too?
I would think so. I would think that splitting up now would just hinder us.
I will mention that it appears that we died together. So...
That's true, but without weapons. Without weapons, we are armed right now, and perhaps we will fare better this time.
Whatever killed them could have just taken their weapons right after it killed them.
I ain't taking my weapon.
Garen will walk to one of the other rooms and just kind of like put an ear to the door and see if he hears anything.
Probably a listen check.
Extreme success.
You don't hear anyone speaking from within there. It doesn't sound like there's any sound is emanating from that room.
As far as I can tell, at least this room's clear. Shall we?
Yes.
Creaks open the door and slips through.
Looks to be a room filled with star charts. Just spread all, really big star charts as well. That are just like spread across the walls, almost like posters. And there's drawings on them as well, with chalk, where presumably Sloane has kind of connected and formed connections between different stars on these different star charts, just over and over.
I'm going to take a closer look, and with my astronomy skill, which I actually do have, I'm going to see if I recognize anything. The problem with
You
my
knew that was going to come
astronomy-
in at some point.
Yeah. The problem is, it's only 22, so I gotta think big. I gotta think
Only
low.
a fool's
roll.
dump stat is astronomy.
Yeah. I just started, okay? Beginner astronomy.
I always max.
Nah.
I always max astronomy.
Actually, how much luck do I have? How much luck is that?
He's got a cosmic concepts book under his shoulder.
No, I fail. I haven't got a clue.
Okay.
Are the charts written in English? Or are they written in a different language?
They are written in English.
So it's like Ursa Minor. It's the
Yep.
constellations that we're familiar with.
You are familiar with many of these stars, yeah.
Garrett will look around. He glances at the charts, but he doesn't put a lot of stock in them specifically. Instead, he's going to kind of search the rest of the room to see if there's any books or a desk or anything that he can kind of look through.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a desk in this room. It's just piled up with more astronomy charts. It doesn't seem like there's a diary which chronicles any of this. And indeed, you don't remember seeing much mention of this in Sloane's diary. Although he did only skim through it, but...
Any of this make any sense to you? Have anything to do the diary? It said Judgment Day. And then there's this, and he pulls out the statue and he places it down. It's a statue of the woman with the sword through that also said just Judgment Day. And it's what Henry Arkin was saying. And he mentioned, I remember, he mentioned the stars. Do you think, is there anything you can tell about these charts?
I know that they are connected. How? I do not know. Not yet. I would need time to study.
Thank you, Mr. Pokey. Appreciate it.
Perhaps two eyes, will be better than one. Where are these connections? And he's basically asking for Sloane to help show him how it's connected to see if maybe he can use, I don't know, spot hidden or astronomy or some skill to help Sloane piece together what these maps are trying to show.
Sure. Sloane, I'll give you another roll on astronomy here.
Okay. And you know what? I think I'm going to use one of my advantages as well that I've got. So that gives 10, doesn't it? An advantage?
I
think that's how it works.
Let's give you a plus 20.
Plus
Because
20, isn't it?
with the assist from Garen.
Think low. Oh!
Wait.
I rolled a 14.
Nice. Very
Brilliant.
nice indeed. So that's a success.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Garen's assistant Sloane, you focus and take a look at the maps again. Whilst this is a star chart that you are familiar with, at points Sloane, presumably other Sloane, has drawn in extra stars that don't exist, as though he is. It's like you're putting he's using one map and he's like drawing over it with another almost. And he's making his own map within the star charts of just stars that you just know aren't there. You know, from your beginner's astronomy course that you took, Sloane, back in high school, which is really coming handy now. You've basically just gone there and he's just drawn up stars that aren't there and constellations which don't exist.
Could I possibly piece together that I think that although they don't exist in my dimension, that they could potentially exist in another dimension?
That's a reasonable thing to assume, that from your previous knowledge that Sloane seems to be working on a different dimension, that this creature Abhoth is from, or at the very least can see different dimensions. And there is this understanding that potentially some creatures work within different dimensions, 4 of them to be precise.
Okay. So, thinking it is possible that the other Sloane was looking for a way to either bridge the gap between two realities or potentially block it. So whatever's below us cannot reach potentially his dimension. It is just a guess at this moment, but is what I would have thought. If we could block it from coming to our dimension, then we could protect our home. It's not perfect, but it's something. But that's just a guess.
I suppose we still don't know when exactly it was that we crossed over into wherever it is that we are now. I know that as we were driving from Henry Arkin's farm, the vegetation, the things in the water, all of it, that it all seems beyond to me. But I don't know when we crossed over. If we could figure out what the mechanism was, maybe. Well, should we keep looking?
I think we should keep searching the house, yes. Unless you are willing to let me stay here for months, I do not believe I could get any more from this.
I think we have till Thanksgiving.
In 5 days.
Mm.
In that case, I suggest we continue the search.
There's one other room in here that you haven't checked.
During this entire exchange, whenever they go into another room full of scrolls or books or letters or whatever it is, Jolly is just leaning up against the door frame, just waiting, silently watching the hall, making sure nothing comes up.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Just one room I'd like to hit something. Just one.
yeah, and actually Pierce didn't go in the map room. He's just kind of leaning on the wall out there and staring at Sloane's room.
All right. Last door. We just open this bad boy up.
Garen will take another listen.
All right.
Success.
Yep. Doesn't appear to be anyone inside, as far as you can tell. No snoring or movement or breathing noises.
I think this one's clear too, and he'll ease the door open.
This room looks similarly as chaotic as the rest, but is most likely where this other Sloane might have slept because there's a big bed in here. It looks pretty not well used. Doesn't look like, you know, this bed has been well slept in or anything like that. Most likely this guy was up at all hours going insane and drawing star charts and maps and the like. But bed in here, there is a trunk by the bed. And that appears to be one of the only real, well, two of the only real features of this room, the trunk and the bed. And there's a window that looks outside into the courtyard.
Garen will not waste any time. He'll, is the trunk locked?
Doesn't appear to be.
Just before he does it, I'm going to put a hand on his shoulder. He goes, if that was my trunk, I probably would have put some protection on it. Depended on what's inside.
Piss trap.
How can you tell? Do you have a...
Oh, well, you search for sigils, symbols, any writing on the chest and around it.
And Garen will kind of look around for any sigils on the trunk.
Definitely no sigils written on here.
Well, I'm glad that you're more careful than this other Sloane, but then again, as we've read, he's not exactly in his right mind, and he will go to open the trunk with a one last glance back at Sloane, like, is there another? Should I?
You can open it if you want.
Yeah, he's
Sloane, as he glances at Garen, he'll glance and then just slowly walk to the window and look out the window while he opens it.
Aaron, you can roll me a dexterity.
Okay, yeah, I'll use one of my advantages on this one.
Good idea.
Let's see. Oh, what's advantage give me again?
I was going to say plus 20.
Plus 20. That is an extreme success.
Nice. You dodge out of the way as a snake flies up from the chest and launches itself towards you.
Does it look like the snake that
It does.
Sloane's been? he gasps.
Bishop Amadeus the Third.
He gasps and kind of dodges out of the way, and then so the snake hits the ground. Is it coming after me more?
Oh yeah.
He's like, Sloane, can I just kill this thing? What is this thing?
He does
It
not
is
look
not
the same as you remembered, Sloane.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
not mine.
It has attached to it pieces of other animals which have been roughly shod, stitched on. So remember those different parts of animals back in Sloane's main room? They've kind of parts of them been stitched onto this thing, making it slower and definitely less agile than once it was, but certainly more horrific as it pulls its body along.
Oh no! And he's gonna swing his sword at this thing.
Give it a roll.
Yeah.
Oh dear God, no.
Be a hard success.
Just not good. You hit it. How much is the damage in that?
4 plus DB. Yeah, I think it rolled it right. Yeah, 4.
Okay, yeah. You slash at it and you cut off some of the flesh and some of the extraneous flesh from it. Kind of hisses back at you. What are the rest of you guys doing at this point?
Hiding behind the curtain.
Good.
Right, as soon as Jolly sees something to hit, he will jump into the room and smack the shit out of this thing at least once.
Good.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? Every goddamn time. All right, I'm going to roll with advantage on my second attack because I rolled 20, despises the bat. There we go, 12.
There it is. Roll 20 really doesn't like your bat whatsoever.
Dude, I have to roll with advantage or crits or... It's a good bat.
Nice.
awesome.
You smack it down for 12 damage and you rip this thing apart. It is just battered into the ground and lies dead.
Kind of feel that was being, built up over a series of hours.
There we go. Killed that snake. Whatever it was.
Thanks, Jolly. Yeah, that was a very, very strange thing. Different. He looks away from it and glances back towards the open trunk.
There are books in the trunk and other
Yeah.
items as well by the looks of it.
Jolly walks like this back out to the door.
I'm not looking.
No.
Garen will have a look through the trunk, through the books and whatever else is in there.
Yeah. There are several items in here. You notice certainly that there are old-looking stopwatches in here, which look similar to the ones that are in Lou's kit. You will also notice that there are books in here as well. They also look like diaries.
How many stopwatches are there?
There are 3 of them.
He'll take out the stopwatches and set them out on the bed, and then he'll take out the books and just at a glance through, trying to figure out is there one that maybe looks like a spell book or something that has anything to do with the mill.
Yeah. Take a look at the books. Also, the one thing you'll notice about the stopwatches, even as you take them out, is that all of them are just spinning round. I dropped for a second. All of them are just spinning around. And the number, which is at the top of them, where often there would be a number there, they are just rotating through. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're just spinning round on a cycle.
He notes that that's strange, and he'll say, he'll call back out to the doorway. He'll say, Jolly, Alan, these stopwatches, I've never seen anything like them. Either of you particularly good with, the mechanics of things?
Yeah.
I'm versed in the mechanics of people, but
Well, I don't know exactly. I've never learned how stopwatches work exactly, how watches work, how they their dials turn, but these ones are just spinning around in circles. You ever seen anything like this?
Why don't you let me see one?
And he'll offer one out to the door.
It appears to be as I mentioned, like there's a number at the top which cycles through 1 to 4 over and over in a quick succession. It's almost like an egg.
It's only got 4 fucking numbers.
Yeah, it's definitely broken in some way, and it's not your standard looking stopwatch for sure. This looks very old.
I mean, they usually have like 12. This is 4.
Okay, so reading through the book, Garen, reading through the different diaries, it seems that also these are in a pretty illegible / insane script, and it seems to be what Sloane is learning from the book. And he goes through. You can basically chronologize that, like the first book that he had in there is like the first one that he had. He just wrote down his notes from whilst he was doing crazy experiments in there. The rest of these books appear to be ones that he's using for chronicling things that are going on with his book and his other findings as well, with the star charts and maps and stuff like that. So, you can run me a library. Yes.
All right. Be a success.
Nice. So, there was someone that was teaching Sloane all of this. Sloane speaks about a teacher, and having learned a great deal of information from this teacher. Specifically, you learn that there are... He never mentions who that is, of course, but you learn that there are different realms of existence. We exist as humans upon the first realm of existence, the natural plane, and other creatures can exist in the second, third, and fourth plane. And in general, beings of greater power exist in the later planes. So things that might be considered ghosts would potentially live in like the second plane, and things that potentially are far worse than that could exist in the fourth plane of existence. And stopwatches, and in particular a certain set of ancient stopwatches, were used and can still be used in order to determine where one is. They're like a ghost hunter's field kit on figuring out where on earth you might be, because sometimes you can slip through into different realms, and sometimes different things fall into our realm. So supernatural things are often explained via potentially there being these different realms of existence. Whether or not you believe that, of course. Sloane certainly believes that things like ghosts could exist and be explained by this. However, the problem being that you and Sloane were having is that you're not in any of these right now. The stopwatch is flickering through. It doesn't know where you are. And that was one of Sloane's first problems. And the book may hold the answer to this. Sloane certainly thought so.
So in these diaries, Sloane mentions that he's stuck. Like he can't get out of.
It's like he's in limbo, and he's searching for an answer to stop this, which he thinks is probably the end of the world, and then he just draws into madness when he starts reading this book, and he becomes obsessed with something that may be controlling this. And he becomes obsessed with the idea that there is a god or some creature which has the ability to control this in this certain area, in the Miskatonic Valley. That is a being which can control time itself and what area of time we all exist in.
And when he asks, or when he writes about his teacher, does he give a name? Does he give any indication that might hint towards the identity of his teacher?
You certainly have to go reading deeper into it to get an idea of that. At best, what you're getting right now is mentions of, I learned this today from a teacher. I've been instructed in this. Never a reference to a name. But then, if you were to go deep enough, you suspect there probably will be a reference to that, but it's going to take you a while to go through this thing.
Garen will lay the book out on the bed and he'll relay this information as he's kind of pointing out passages to Sloane and the other guys, if Pierce and Jolly are listening. And he'll even point to the stopwatch and basically explain that there's a relationship, according to this other Sloane, between the worlds and the stopwatches, but that somehow we're stuck in a limbo. He'll explain all of that as well as he can.
While this description is going on, can Jolly make a mechanical repair roll to see if he can ascertain how this stopwatch might work?
Absolutely.
Because I can't get enough. Yeah, it's a success.
Of course. There is a clicker at the top of the watch which should allow something to happen. Some mechanism in the watch is attached to it. It's like a clicker on a timer, an egg timer.
Can I make an occult roll to see if I can
Absolutely.
learn anything even more about said watch? I'm going to crit this one because I want the watch.
Very, very good idea. Yes, there is certainly talk throughout a great deal of occult nature about creatures that could control time and the like. What you know about these, or at least what people believe about these on your natural 20, for some reason, like, you've read this particular chapter as like stuck with you, is that there is likely a creature of great power, or a part of a creature of great power inside that watch, and that they are what we would consider like aliens that the Hyperboreans would have worshipped as gods, managed to kind of get from these creatures, these older gods, these ones from the outer planes, put it inside the watch so that they could have control over the same powers that they control. So it's like it's almost like a rosary bead for a Hyperborean. This is, we have all this great power that we manifest. Now you can understand this. We've put a section of ourselves inside this mechanism that you can use. Which is perhaps to say something of why the Hyperboreans were so highly advanced technologically. It's out of character. This is the explanation for how did the Egyptians build the pyramids? Well, basically Cthulhu came along and was like, yo, here's all this technology because I'm from space. Seems good. I know what I believe.
So Pierce will kind of just like lean in the door and just look around the room. Like, well, did you find anything?
Well, I've more questions than anything. I think we're gonna have to continue to look. But these stopwatches, we should take them. I don't know that they're working like they should right now, but if other Sloane was right, then they may be able to help us figure out what's going on. He seemed to think that the answers were in the book, but we know too that he failed. At least I think he failed.
Well, if he failed, perhaps I can succeed.
That's true. But there were some rooms downstairs. Maybe we should look downstairs.
Well,
Yeah, the servants' quarters should uncover this mystery.
has he got like a nightstand or something like that?
Sure.
I'm gonna have a look for laudanum, because if this is the same Sloane, he could potentially have realized the importance of laudanum.
Yeah, you look inside basically where, you as Sloane keep your medicine. There are hundreds upon hundreds of vials of empty laudanum.
Oh, empty? Bollocks.
All gone.
Yeah, you ran out, buddy.
But interestingly enough, you had a big supply of it. This is far larger than your current supply.
Yeah.
So he was getting it from somewhere. Or someone.
I'm gonna like keep an eye out for any more laudanum. So like bathroom,
Bathroom cabinet, just...
Yeah. Under the sofa, I'm just gonna keep an eye out.
Yeah, so one just in the middle of like cracking the sofa where you
Yeah.
always lose your remote. Oh, there it is.
That is the biggest crackhead statement that's ever been made on this. Like searching the ground. There's got to be some more, man. There's just got to be. Check the cushions, man.
Checking the cracks of the wood. Come on, baby. Daddy needs his num-nums.
As Sloane was looking out the window, what does it look like out there?
Misty.
Does it look like it's misty, like a
Very
supernatural
misty down
foggy?
there. Absolutely, yeah. For about a
Okay, well,
mile
what is-
radius, it's very misty outside.
Okay, so we're stuck in the house.
I didn't say that.
No, I did. We're stuck in the house. Okay. And you said the downstairs was more modern than the up, yeah?
Up here, I mean, some things in here look older than others, but mostly it looks pretty decrepit all around, to be honest.
Right. Okay.
The fleshy blood downstairs was much fresher than anything you found down here.
See, he's still around. I know it. That's too fresh. It happened within like a few hours ago. We can continue searching the house downstairs. Or we could
Do we
something.
ever check our own pockets?
I put my hand in my pocket.
No, not our pockets. The pockets of the dead us downstairs.
Oh, no. I don't believe we searched them. Well, I didn't.
Well, I mean, maybe they found something.
It's
Maybe they were almost there. And, they had some shit and got caught.
definitely worth a shot.
Let's go check our pockets posthumously.
Don't go in the other room. Remember the piss trap. Jump when you open it. Just
Okay. So we headed downstairs?
Yeah, to search the pockets.
Alright. You head downstairs and get back to the bodies. You each searching your own body?
Garen says, will somebody look in mine? I would much rather not.
I
Yeah.
can do it.
I was gonna say I don't mind either.
I can search them all if you don't want to go in. I can understand the distress.
Well,
I'll touch myself if that's okay. I've had plenty of practice.
That's perfectly fine, Jolly. I'll search Garen's pockets if I can find a pocket.
Yeah, you find a matching statue just like the one that Garen has. It's a woman, and there's the exact same symbol of some occult nature, we think.
Okay. I show it up to just this.
Garen pats his own pocket and he says, yep, it looks just like mine. He's gonna take a look around, kind of warily.
You should take that. Have double the power, right?
Sloane offers it to Garen if he wants it. Oh, okay, I'll pocket it. Why not?
And yeah, Pierce is gonna check his pockets, looking for his own flask and the butter knife that Lou gave him.
You find the flask, but no butter knife.
Interesting. It appears that there are some differences. That's promising, at least.
Yes.
I'll check me.
You find your wallet, including the identification of the pilot.
Oh, boom! Stuff's worth a lot.
His name
down
is
to Baltimore.
his name is different though.
That's just two IDs right there.
Yeah, isn't Jameson?
Not Jameson, no. His name is Adam Carter. Never heard of him in your life.
Adam Carter. These guys must have flown on Adam Carter Airlines.
Mm.
Well, shit. Well, I got it, so he had to died. So they probably crashed.
But it was a different pilot.
Yeah, but they ain't infected.
Small subtle
good.
differences.
And so,
Yeah, Adam could have landed. I could have killed him and taken it.
and
Probably
Sloane
did
wasn't
kill him
with you.
again.
Yeah, on
Possibly.
definite closer inspection, Dr. Allen, there's definitely no signs of prolonged exposure to the pollution. However, you know from Sloane's diaries that there was pollution, so that would be concurrent with the theory that maybe you didn't land in that water lake filled with that polluted fungus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
This isn't us. I mean,
It's
it is
not us.
but it's not us.
there
That is
are-
Well, the lightning took us down.
yeah.
Maybe these guys didn't have no lightning. That's
It's
why they
possi-
landed.
It's a possibility. Yeah. So, I mean, it's
Well, the lightning's what killed the guys at the Glen, too. Cold Spring Glen. The lightning. If there ain't no lightning, we talked about going back and meeting them if we could do a skip through time. And he holds up the watch that's spinning. Maybe we did.
If we go through the mill, there's a chance that we move through time that way. That's what we know. But this is different, though. These aren't just us from a different time. It's us, but little things. They're different. I struggle to understand. I struggle to understand, but I think that time and whatever's happening with this other us, they might be related, but I don't think it's the same thing.
Well, like Sloan was trying to tell us. I mean, there's other
places, right? Similar to our own. This could be that. Same things happening in another world, similar to our own, except the sky's a little bluer, grass is a little greener. I don't have a butter knife. So they were trying to solve the same problem we were. Maybe it parallels our own in almost every way.
not quite.
But not, yeah. So it still stands to reason that what's up in that book can get us in that mill.
I have to admit, I am running out of ideas.
You're pretty sure that it all lies inside that book, though, Sloane.
All I'm saying is, no matter, we're just running around in circles now, grasping at every straw, every little thing that can avoid the inevitable. And I think we all know where this is headed.
I know. Sloane knew that from the
As
beginning. but
Pierce's feet start walking back upstairs.
Hey, don't look at that fucking book, Doc. It'll knock you right on your ass.
I have certain assurances from other asses that are inhabiting me that he can protect me somewhat from
I
these
do not
effects.
think that is a reliable source.
Alan, you can't trust that guy. You can't trust that thing.
I trust that he wants the Golden Fernier as much as I want him out of me. And that he doesn't want to kill me, thereby killing himself until he gets it. So I trust in his sense of self-preservation as it extends to me, his host.
That's if he is.
Is that right, Wizard?
Yes, of course. I must have the Golden Fernier.
So, again, unless somebody has a bolt of inspiration out of nowhere, I really don't see another way. So we have got to get in that mill. We have got to stop this, no matter the cost, no matter the price.
It might take, even with this entity's help, you time to read through the book to comprehend it. We don't know how long or what the effects on your mind might be, even with his help. If we're going to hold up here, if you're going to do this, we're gonna need food. We're gonna need to make sure that we're protected. Do we even want to stay in this place? Do we want to take the book elsewhere? If we're considering this, let's make sure that we do it as safe as we possibly can.
I don't think you'll get a chance to even move that book. It's one shot. And that's if you're even able to do anything afterwards. And Sloane will sigh, and he'll walk up to the dock and put his hand in his pocket and place a vial of laudanum in the dock's hands. It's not much, but maybe it'll numb you enough.
Kind of
Thank
look
you,
down
that's
at
it.
it. Well, thank you for what it's worth. But you know this is what we need to do.
I knew when I first saw it. I just hoped there was another way.
Yeah. Well,
And Sloane will just kind of walk away and make sure he's nowhere near the room.
just kind of like look back at the other two. Well, I don't know if you want to come up here with me, but
I'll go with you. I'll go with you, Alan. I'll watch you.
I'll stay in the hall. Like,
yeah.
I'll
hall.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay with Jolly.
You know, Garen, I never really had much use for religion, but
Thankful, Brian.
it does make me feel a little better that you'll be there.
We're all just men, but God has a plan for each of us, no matter what she believes. I'm with you. Let's do this.
All right. I'll walk back upstairs, opening the door with my feet to the side so I don't get any piss on my shoes. And lowered it again. Well, when you know it's a trap. But yeah, go ahead and walk in and kind of look down at the vial of laudanum. Just think to myself, is this going to hurt or help you? Because it hindered you last time, didn't it?
Who? Me?
Wizard.
Or
Wizard? Hello, wizard?
Oh. Yes. I would take it.
Okay. Well. Watch out, teeth. Look out, gums. Something, something. Here she comes. He'll take a shot of that laudanum. Kind of glance over to Garen as his eyes kind of go a little cloudy. And then slowly pull the jacket back from that book.
As Dr. Allen looks at the Necronomicon. That's where we're going to end tonight's session of Call of Cthulhu.
Sorry.
Amazing. Amazing.
I had a feeling.
Creepy books in Call of Cthulhu are always fun. They're always good things. Amazing. So, that's what we're going to end it for tonight, my friends. We're going to roll the Wild Magic Search for Dr. Allen at the beginning of next session as he opens the book. And everyone has an advantage from Thorbrand. So, whew, it's been a good one. It's been a good one, my friends. But if you enjoyed the show, let us know. What's your favourite moments? I know what mine was. Yeah. That was fun. If you enjoyed the show, hit the follow button and join us, of course. Thank you to everybody who donated on today's show and affected the game as per usual. You made it extra wacky, amazing fun. And the Wild Magic Surges today were just so on point that it was cosmic, man. It was funny when I was writing this and I was like, like, the problem with like things that are unknowable and incomprehensible by humans is that they are really fucking difficult to explain at all, because everyone's like, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, well, everyone's insane that wrote it, so that makes sense. But hey, let's go to the cast and crew. Do we enjoy ourselves? Where can we find you guys online? Let's start with Pruitt, of course.
Yeah, Claire Tu Verata Necto. Yeah, go ahead and get that out of the way before I go pick that book up. But oh my God, man. Love it. Absolutely love it. Yes, the Wild Magic Surges have been on point for almost this whole campaign. It's been pretty nuts, the serendipity involved or whatever. But yes, I'm loving it. I'm Pruitt, WebDM. You can find me over at Twitter at JPruInc or hit up WebDM Show. Most of our stuff is, over on YouTube. I'm here with you on Wednesdays, and later on tonight, we'll be starting up season 3 of Saber Dice.
Boom.
So check us out on. We're actually going to be over on YouTube instead of on Twitch.
That's right,
that.
yeah. On the Saber Dice channel, I think. I'm streaming into it, so I should know. Yeah. But 7 p.m. Eastern is when you'll find us there. All right. Yeah, 7 p.m. Eastern. We're moving the time up a little bit and going over to YouTube. Come join us for that. But other than that, can't wait till next week. Awesome. Greg?
I had a blast, man. This was, I thought that we were really in deep shit without Lou. And then it was a really kind of a cool meshing and a talking, take Lou out of the picture and the guys can sit down and share, which I thought was great. Really funny. We all just decided that now was the perfect time to talk about our pasts and our feelings, which was great. But anyway, Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and on the Twitters. You can always join me here 1 to 4 Wednesdays Eastern time is where it's at. Tonight I'll be on Unmade Gaming's show doing a little City of Mist from 8 to 11. On Saturday evening, I will be on Learn by Play with this great DM right here, doing a little Dungeons of Dragons on Wizards of the Coast. And then on Sunday night, I have a special one-shot Pulp Cthulhu on my own channel, Grimjack21502, starring Kiana and this guy, Donathan Fry. It should be a blast. It should be fun. Guys, can't wait till next week. See you then.
Dope. Don?
Oh man, I really, really like this episode. It's different than any of the other episodes so far we've done this season. I liked... I can't follow what's, I try my best to follow what's going on, but I'm just as in the dark as our characters are. And every time I think I start to wrap my head around things, the stick gets pushed a little further away. And I love that about Call of Cthulhu. I had a great time today. Really looking forward to next week. You can catch me on Twitter at Donathan Fry. I share comic book stuff that I write, other projects that I'm a part of. And like Greg said, I'm going to be on this Sunday on his Pulp Cthulhu game at 7 p.m. And I'm super pumped about that. It's going to be a lot of fun with Kiana.
Amazing. And last but not least, Redundant UK.
Yeah, if there was an episode where Sloane was going to get his head caved in, it would probably be this one. And he made it through. I thought I was in deep trouble. Without Lou. Lou might have been, for all her craziness, she might have been the voice of reason for a bit in her crazy way. But fortunately, his head is still intact. And I think, as odd as it might seem, he's actually gotten a bit closer to the others. As strange as it might seem, he's gotten a bit closer. And I'm hoping maybe a bit more trust between them, considering how Sloane was so open about everything. And it certainly helps the fact that he found evidence that it is another Sloane, not him. So that certainly helps with that. But it was really a fascinating episode. You think, like Don said, you think you've discovered something, and then something else comes, and you just go, what? So it's always got you guessing. It's always got you thinking. And like you said, Will, it's written so that it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's written by people who are insane. So it's very difficult to figure out what the hell is going on. But that doesn't make it any less fun. But myself, you can find me on Twitch. It's Redundant UK. And you can also check me out on Twitter, Redundant_UK. You can also check me out in the Encounter Roleplay channel and chat where I hang out a lot of the time.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Go follow these guys. It's been so much fucking fun. I got a quick announcement to make, so I'll be hanging with you guys for a minute here. But until next time, try not to throw too many nat ones because we're going to be laughing when you do. Good night, everybody! Bye. Alright everyone, so what usually happens now is we go to our next show, Sands of Zehir. Unfortunately, we're like 3 or 4 cast members down today, with just all manner of terrible things have happened to people, and unforeseen circumstances. So we won't be doing Sands of Zehir next, which means we'll be going offline, but you will be getting more Will from Cannon Roleplay today. At 7 PM Eastern, I'm going to be over on Save or Dice. So in 3 hours time, I'll be hanging out on youtube.com/Save or Dice. I'll be playing in this season. New season begins today. So episode 1 of season 3 starts today with Pruitt from WebDM, Jim Davis from WebDM, Nerdarchy, and Taking 20 are going to be there as well. So we're all going to play some Dungeons and Dragons tonight. I suggest you guys come along. I'll drop you guys a link to the YouTube channel so that you might go and find it later. Unpin that. That's the link for the YouTube channel. So I'm going to go offline. I'll see you guys in 3 hours time because no Santas are here. That was so much fun. Next fucking Nomicon. Cannot wait for it. Until next time, my friends. Try not to throw too many now ones. I want to be laughing when you do. Bye-bye.